is a Cosmic Octave original podcast.
Me and Jake running down the street with a handful of comic books, kicking ass and banging chicks and drinking booze
No, not
and
me.
smoking
Not
weed.
me. I'm married.
Yeah, well,
I'm married.
Jake.
Can't do that.
Yeah. Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler. I care more about this.
You
I
care
care
more about this
this show than anybody else, except for maybe you.
Who does everything for this show?
Everything.
My blood, sweat, and tears.
Show up and talk.
I said my blood.
What?
My sweat.
What?
My tears.
What?
So anyway, why don't I tell you
What?
I think the bit's done. But
The bit is never done.
that's a drop.
Hey,
The bit
we
is
haven't
never
sworn
done.
yet. Or sang.
Dang it. What? Forget it.
Stop pounding your phone.
Well, I gotta
Touch
get,
it.
It's a delay.
I don't
the
count
board.
dang it as swearing, but you're right on the line, mister.
Gosh
You're
darn it.
right up against that fence.
Gosh darn it. Also, we're not gonna swear the whole show, and I say
Godspeed, Spider-Man.
Well, how much? Okay.
By the way, this is episode 153 of
I'm Tyler.
Off Panel Off Topic. I'm Jake.
You know, I think for like 3 episodes, right around 145, we got it down to a science, and we still just have screwed it up every time. I am legitimately trying not to swear. I am acting. I am.
It's real fudging hard.
I'm on the radio sometimes, live radio,
Oh
and
my gosh.
no,
Here we go.
and you and I have been both. I don't know about you, but I have a little flip that a little switch that I flip, a little flip that I switch when I go before a mic on live radio, and it is you can't say these words, and that is the flip that is switched right now.
But I would. 'Cause
Switch that
you
is
know
flipped.
why?
I'm ballsy. I don't take no shit from anyone.
He said it. He said it. We didn't say it.
I don't give a fuck.
222. Wow.
Still a
Anyway.
record, right?
Yeah, anyway. Honestly, probably. It's got to be up there, Krusty. Stop it. It doesn't encourage you to keep doing it.
The put down is supposed to be the end, not the beginning.
Listen, know your place. All right.
Valeris. Wisdom is the beginning.
So anyway, this is episode 153. We got a couple
I'm
of...
Tyler.
We're through that. We've got a couple of news topics to talk about. We're going to be talking about The Acolyte. We watched the first 2 episodes. Venom's trailer, Venom the Last Dance. And then some interesting news about Avengers 5. Because it's helpful for starters.
I bought a DC book today.
Yeah, and we're going to do
3 of
Why
them.
did I say it like you're my son? Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
You did. And then,
Saved up your allowance?
we're going to keep doing our run on Punisher and then continue our run on Chew. All that and more, folks. So stay tuned. Anyway, let's get into the first thing. Let's talk about The Acolyte.
The
Oh, what's that? You want
You ought to know by now.
It's your fault.
Isn't
it's
it-
your fault. Be mad.
Isn't it Moving Out by Billy Joel?
Yeah, because I'm moving out. That dude could make the most mundane things sound good in a song, you know? Like Piano Man, it's just a dude playing a piano. But you go on the
Is it?
But you
I
go on
thought
the
it was a
ride.
space opera.
Wow. Okay. I think we watch different things.
Ground control to piano man.
Wow.
That
DJ
says,
Cumberbatch.
Piano man to ground control.
It's Saturday night. The regulars shuffling in.
The microphone smells like a beer.
What's the song? Space Piano Man Oddity.
Space piano oddity man. This is called Captain Tom to Major Ground Control
We
Piano,
didn't even get
dude.
5 minutes before this became an absolute train wreck. All right. The
Listen,
Acolyte-
you
This is where
you show up for the news and you stay for the comedy.
Kill me!
All right. So we're gonna start the YouTube video right here of the Acolyte episodes number 1 and 2. I do appreciate that Disney Plus does the 2-episode premiere. I'm a fan of that.
Did we just go off on Billy Joel for a little bit? Okay, the 2-episode
I
premiere.
love Billy Joel.
I did that like that too. Here's something I noticed. Completely just not having anything to do creatively, is that almost every other Disney show, when you look at the episodes on the screen, they show right next to it like how many minutes it's or how long it is, like 41 whatever. You know what I mean? This one didn't. The first episode,
I noticed that too. Yeah.
the first episode felt really short, and the second episode felt really long. And the reason why I say that is because I feel like more stuff happened in the second one.
The first episode was like 42 minutes.
Yeah, I didn't feel that long at all. I have no idea how long the second one was. So thoughts?
probably like about an hour.
Thoughts?
Spoiler 3. Spoiler 3.
Maybe take the pizza out of your mouth.
That's why I was trying to let you
Take the
vamp.
pizza out of my mouth. You do your thoughts, and then I'll do mine.
Okay, buddy.
Since you can't figure out how to do the rotation of the thoughts. Because you're parking your thoughts.
Anyway, I have a weird like. I think the more that you and I talked about it, off the air, I think the more that I kind of enjoyed the show, because I was kind of neutral. I didn't really hate it. I thought some things are cool. I think that I really liked, but like overall, I wasn't being like, oh, this sucks, or oh, this is the greatest thing ever. It didn't feel like, you know, it didn't hook me as hard as like Mandalorian did. And that being said, I think you were talking about how you were reading a review and someone said that it actually felt like a TV show.
Yeah.
And I think that is the case with this. I think we're building to something. I think I felt a little bit slower pace at times, but it's not that I don't think it is a detriment to the show, because Andor was a slower paced show, so
Yeah.
I don't have issues with that. But there are a couple characters that I'm interested in, but like for the most part, I'm not like really set on all the Jedi characters. But overall, I think it was good, and I'm interested to see where it's going.
Yeah. God damn it. My first thought was I read that review, and it was spoiler free, and a couple things that they said were that that I did agree with after watching the first episode was that it felt like a TV show. And then they were also talking about it still feels like a Star Wars show because they clearly put millions of dollars into this. But I would have to say I overall I liked it. I liked the idea of a story before all of that crap. I gotta be honest.
And we're kinda
I
seeing
better fucking see Yoda when he was a kid or something, because this, because he was still alive at this time.
Yeah.
He's old as fuck.
And we're kind of starting to see that. I like the idea that we're getting to look at kind of the birth of the dark side. I do find that interesting.
Right, and there's also, I read after I watched the 2 episodes, and I won't get into it here because it's kind of spoilery, but I read a reason why, a theory as to why in the Phantom Menace they're talking about the Sith have not been seen for a millennia, despite what we're seeing here 100 years before that. And I won't get into that because you have to watch the show, but it's really interesting, and honestly, it sounds really cool to me. That being said, are we doing stuff we didn't like too?
We can. I mean,
I fucking
well, I don't know
hate
if-
the alien makeup on Daphne Keene and the green skin lady. It looks so fucking pedestrian. I know somebody spent 100 hours like coming up with that and develop. I know that. I know that an artist or a team of artists came up with. I know this. It just drives me nuts.
But not every alien race needs to have a ton of like prosthetics and shit. You know what I mean?
My thing is that
I'm fine with it being lower tech on them.
now here. I can't explain why I don't like the green one. I think it's just so. You could have just had a bald person, a bald blue person, or what's with the whatever. Again, I'm not gonna try and second guess character designs. It's just, to me, I think the reason why they did that makeup type, the prosthetic type stuff with Daphne Keane, is because she has a great expressive face. So they didn't want to fuck it up with like noses and chins and shit. So they were kind of like, let's do horns around the face. So it just looks hokey. She doesn't look like an alien to me. She looks like a person in makeup.
But that's
whatever. It's a small gripe.
I'm going to disagree with you solely because I have spent.
Fuck you.
Well, it's consistency, and I stand and reassured with things. I disagree. I think
that's fair.
I really like that they made the makeup and did all that with makeup because.
Oh yeah.
I have said consistently how much I hate how cheap everything fucking looks because of CGI now.
I wasn't saying that I should.
No.
I know.
I want to be. Just let me finish. Yeah. But I understand why that you feel like there could be a little bit more. Like you appreciate that, but you want more. I understand that's your opinion. I'm fine with it being where it is because again, I would much rather. And I know you agree with me that I'd much rather have this than fucking CGI bullshit.
Yes.
And especially in the fight scenes in this fucking. The opening scene when she hits an alien dude and she smacks his head on the table and it has impact because he's a dude wearing a prosthetic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just I have to constantly give this show flowers for that they actually had fight choreography.
Yes,
and
yes.
On camera, I can see it.
And it's cool.
In a static camera.
It looks cool.
It looks good. And I haven't seen fighting like that in Star Wars. And I like that shit. And because how many times have we seen shitty, ugly, disgusting fucking CGI fights?
The Flash?
You know how much I was like, oh, it's just so refreshing. There's actually fighting in this show.
Yeah.
Like I ate that up. I love that. That was my favorite thing about both episodes.
I don't I give it a thumbs up. Mainly because I like the story, and from what I understand of this, I think it's Leslie Headland is her name. The showrunner?
Yeah.
From what I understand about her previous projects, I read some other stuff today about her. Her projects, most of the things that she's done seem to kind of start one way and then unravels. The person I was reading used the words unravels like an onion as it goes on. And so already 2 episodes in, we're already understanding that what we learned at the beginning of the first episode, by the end of episode 2, we already know that that's not the truth. So I'm very, very, very interested to see where this showrunner takes the show. I really like Saul. I'm not sure the actor's name, but he was in Squid Game.
Oh, and
yeah.
Saul was my favorite. I liked him a lot.
They said in the spoiler-free review that they were like, he's the best part because
I think
and
he
expresses his facial expressions. He's one of those actors I'll watch in anything. He's like Giancarlo Esposito. Sam Jackson is one of those actors. Nick Cage to a degree. But you're expecting more. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But those actors who aren't like necessarily leading men, but they play their character actors, and anytime you see them, you're just like, sweet, cool.
I like that. I think that putting the weight of it on him was a good choice. I think like the morality of it, because seeing Saul be confidently being like, Osha would never do this. Mm-hmm. She didn't leave being a Jedi because she turned evil or went to a dark side. Like she had her reasons, and I like that. And honestly, I think the things that I really enjoyed, the fight choreography was great. I'll get to things that I really don't like in a second. Mm-hmm. And this is just a personal thing, but I feel like it's a universal thing because she's a treasure.
Oh yeah.
But I derail my own thought because I'm like, I have to talk about it. We almost forgot about that. But
we'll get to it.
I really like the Jedi hierarchy. I liked how I love seeing the High Empire. I like going back.
Yeah.
And like again, unless
The High Republic.
The High.
Jeez, man.
Whoa.
Fascist.
Oh,
I'm Antifa over here, man.
This got away from me.
The only guys who can talk about Star Wars and bring up Antifa. Off panel, off topic. Go for it.
You're welcome, America.
You're welcome, woke.
Yeah.
Wait.
Oh, by the way, you want to talk about woke? This show's got no white guys.
Hey, also, just want to state for all of our critics, you're totally right, and we will be getting our woke check tomorrow or Friday.
Yeah.
Sorry, for the year.
Yeah.
It's $1. Spend it wisely.
Wait, it's $1.50 now. Go buy yourself a soda pop. Not even. Thanks, inflation.
You could buy 2 refills at a fucking Quick Star. Quick Star, sponsors of Off Panel, Off Topic. No, they're
And
not.
the Acolyte.
And the Ad Council.
Can we get back to the show?
No. Yes, Carrie Ann Moss. Is that where you're going?
No, I really, like I said, I like seeing this Jedi count hierarchy again, and seeing
They all have kind of like costumes, almost like Star Trek,
and just
style.
seeing how the Jedi are as kind of these space samurai cops. Like it's kind of, I think it's interesting and unique to this show where they're actually arresting people,
right,
and putting them in a holding cell and shit like that. So I don't think we'd really seen that before.
Yeah, where she blasts the lights on her and
the ship's
you're under arrest by the order of the Galactic Republic.
Yeah, the thing about the Acolyte, the opening scene, Carrie Ann Moss was featured in the marketing of this.
Yes,
It's fine if it works narratively. I'm okay with it.
Right, if she has a flashback
But
or something.
the fucking bait and switch to kill her in the opening scene. Oh shit! You know what I forgot to do?
What? Oh, it's too late.
It's too late, everybody.
Listen, if you came here to get,
I mean, we're probably 10 minutes into this discussion.
If you came here to get you know what you're getting into. Trust me. I just want to let you know that those of you who've listened for a long time, we are really bad. Do we have pizza time anymore?
It's in here somewhere.
Okay. We're really bad about being spoiler free, so we'll say that in the description. It's not spoiler free.
And if you get upset, you're just gonna be like,
What'd you do?
so you knew what this was. You clicked.
That sounds so
I really like that a lot. And seeing Saul be like, I know you want to keep me here teaching these kids, but I will say one of the things I didn't like too was the weird what thoughts do you have of fire and it's kind of weird, but
well, I mean,
seemed too on the nose, isn't it?
If it makes sense for narrative, whatever, I don't know.
But then the Carrie Ann Moss bait and switch is again, I'm sure she's gonna come back in flashbacks or something, and then later episodes, But
you know what?
It just sucks that they kind of just took her out in the first scene.
I will say this: her one scene that we've seen so far was badass. A lot of people forget that Carrie Ann started not as an actress, but I believe a martial. Wasn't she a martial artist champion and shit?
I ain't gonna look it up, and you ain't gonna look it up.
I guess we're not.
I can't. Hold on a second.
No, it's fine. But I mean, I know obviously on the Matrix movies, if she didn't already have prior training, she seems like somebody who's been doing that most of her life. Don't you think?
She's Canadian.
I did know that.
Keep talking.
Oh. But I mean, whether she didn't when she started doing the Matrix, which I think, I mean, I don't know if that's her first action project. I would assume. I don't know. I really don't know much about Carrie Ann Moss. She was kick ass in Jessica Jones. Wasn't she in Jessica Jones as a lawyer?
She was.
She was
I
really
liked her
cool in
that.
that.
She's
She was
obviously
great.
she's great in the Matrix. Of
Yeah,
course.
dude, she's.
But
Yeah.
that's why I was like, damn. I was really bummed. But
So
it was a
where
really
did
good
she start
fight.
off? Did you look up?
She was not. She's always been an actress.
Huh. Well, I'm stupid. Did you read about any training she's had prior? Or is it just on move? Thanks for. I see you just turned it off without actually looking anything up.
Oh my god!
I just found the one thing I wanted to know. I don't give a shit about what you wanted to know.
Sloppy.
That's it. I'm done. This
Blow
show
my
is
nose.
over.
I'm gonna blow my nose.
Wow.
Really?
It was a good,
Not now.
but I will say it was a good fight scene. I was, I at an effect. Jeez, stumbling over my words. It was an effective opening scene where I was like, "Oh shit, okay." And like how it happens because May uses the fact that obviously she's a Jedi, so she's gonna save someone if she throws a blade at them, and that's how she gets her. It's like, oh damn, that was a good scene. I dug it. What did you think? So we find out throughout these episodes that May is hunting for Jedi. So he killed one that was Carrie Ann Moss's character
In Dara?
I believe. And so now she was going at, who was the guy that was meditating?
Tobin.
Tobin.
Master Tobin.
So she was going after Master Tobin now. But Master Tobin, this is kind of weird, and I love it.
It's the vow of Bosch.
And so, but much like the hierarchy thing, like to see this, something we hadn't really seen on screen before of someone meditating and using the Force to meditate so strongly that she can't penetrate like this force shield around him, force field, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Like that's awesome. I love that. It was so weird. And
clearly he had taken that vow because of his guilt.
And we're also seeing them like something we hadn't seen in live action yet, where they're kind of again leaning. Well, they did a little bit in the prequels, but leaning more into the religion of it.
Yeah, they have like the temples and stuff, and they clearly have like people working in the temples of the Jedi that are not maybe Force sensitive at all, or maybe very lightly, that are like just janitors and shit. And you know what I mean? Like those two guys that were talking to when they go in, when she sneaks into Master Tobin's temple, she uses that kid, and the two people who are like interrogating the kid before Saul comes along, they clearly are not Jedi, but they're like caretakers of the temple. Like one of them is like you know what I'm talking about. So it's a lot like knights. And maybe even priests back in like the Middle Ages, where they would have like, okay, they have a bunch of priests, and then they maybe have, people to kind of do the things for them so that they can concentrate on or is it Buddhist priests? I think, I don't know.
Breaking the law.
You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead.
All I could hear was Buddhist priests.
Dude, you know where we're going tonight?
You got another thing coming.
You got
It's fucking Buddhist priest.
It's crazy, man. We're gonna go see Buddhist priest tonight. Really? Yeah. Rob Halford? No. Buddhist priest. Sorry, let me slow down. They don't sing at all. Actually, they've all taken vows of silence.
I'm really just going to meditate with.
They've taken vows of silence. So go figure.
The music.
That doesn't include their fingers and hands.
They're DJs. They play meditation.
No, I'm saying just because they have taken vows of silence in the mouth.
Well, anyway, that's our review of the Acolyte, everybody.
I mean that you can take a vow of silence but still play a guitar, you douche. God, way to make it sexual. Fucking pervert. Listen, if you keep talking about me like
Talk
that,
about the fucking
I'm
show.
gonna put a vow of silence.
Tyler,
pop you in the mouth with a vow of silence.
Tyler,
what?
Let's talk about Master.
You're the one who went down that road. I'm just following you.
Sorry, thought the Buddhist priest pun didn't have
I
legs,
thought it
but
was.
here we are.
I thought it was interesting. You know me better than that. It's interesting because I want to know like if how long he knew that she was there. I think that he probably knew she was there the whole time, both times. But, clearly he only opens his eyes the second time when she sets down the poison. So, I don't know. I honestly, like,
Crazy
I know
to do that for 10 years.
Well, I
though.
know it's a really dude. I know it's a really, and I know it's a real guy. It's an actor. But to be honest, when she first shows up, it looked like a wax
Yeah, it was weird. The lighting was weird.
I don't know if like, have you ever seen a movie or a show where the guy's beard is clearly like put on by makeup, like he didn't grow it himself?
Yeah, fake beard.
Right. And most of the time it's well enough that you can kind of suspend your disbelief. But then there's every once in a while where it's like, that's a really fucking bad job and I can see right through the glue. Right?
That's a song. See right
It's
through.
a really
the glue.
fucking bad
Focus.
job and I can see right through the glue.
Damn. So,
Darling,
would you think?
you've been putting fake beards.
Tobin, for the love of God, Master Tobin.
I felt like when we first see him or whatever, that all of his hair was like put on. You know what I mean? Or maybe it was just that's his natural like hair like pattern, baldness or whatever. But they stylized the hair that he does. I don't know. I just did not like the hair. There's a lot of costuming and makeup. To be honest, the only thing I really have about the show is just there's a couple of costuming and makeup designs that I just kind of didn't care for. But other than that, it's an entertaining story and the acting is all real. Daphne Keane is great.
I'm interested to see where it goes.
Yeah.
I'm interested. I enjoyed it. I had fun. Can't wait for episode 3, everybody.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. And
Who is the villain? That's what I want.
Yeah. Oh, can't wait to see.
We just hear their voice.
I can't wait to see Chewbacca or a
Wookiee.
Wookiee.
Yeah, Wookiee Jedi.
I played Lego Star Wars, which was before the Skywalker saga.
Fucking nerd. Anyway,
I played it, and at a certain point, once you beat the game, you can make characters out of any parts because you've unlocked all the characters.
Oh my god.
I know, right? And my first thing was I wanted to make a Tusken Raider Jedi, which my brother informed me there is a Tusken Raider Jedi, 2 of them in the comics, in the Dark Horse comics, which have since been relegated to Legends, right?
Yeah.
But the other one I wanted to do was a fucking Ewok Jedi, dude.
Whoa.
Yeah. Job, motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Game over, man. Game over.
Ah!
Well, that's great. That's just fucking great, man.
Listen, I come from a planet called Endor.
Oh my God. Is that an Ewok Jedi?
Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe fuck yourself.
The one and only correct answer, lady. Every time I sit up
Sony-
on my chair, I crush my testicle. It hurts. God. Jesus. One thing they don't... You know what? I'm almost 50 years old. All men listening that are under the age of 40, let me inform you about something awful that happens in your late 40s. Your scrotum becomes really just it just is everywhere all the time. It's not like nice and under your, right there in your, right under your thing like it is when you're younger. At some point, gravity starts winning. You find your testicles in all sorts of places. Oh, how did I sit on my testicle? How did I do that?
Sir, this is an Arby's. So Venom 3. Venom: The Last Dance. Sony's will be their next Spider-Man movie without Spider-Man. I'm
Spider-Man movie without Spider-Man.
We did a review of the first movie and the second movie. We also have like an omnibus of like all before this video, all of our like we talk about Venom 3, like we've talked about those movies, and you and I both kind of had this feeling of I enjoy them because I know they're trash, but I will say this in a good way. They're entertaining. They're like B movies, and I like them for that. I understand if most people don't. I get it. But for me, I enjoy it. And this is coming from someone who absolutely loves the character. So
we went to Venom Let There Be Carnage together, which was awesome because I did not know about like the post-credit scene. Did you? When we went
no.
into that? See, so that was kind of like, oh, cool. We went and saw it in the theater, and that was a nice little treat, I thought. And then later on that day, I think we watched the first one. I like them. I just, at this point, it brings to mind a couple things. Right now, like I got a new phone, and I've talked about how my Google thing was not refreshing because I turned it off in my settings, and I haven't turned it off on this new phone yet. So when I go to Google, which is my homepage, when I go online,
You got the trailer fed to you?
no, I get a bunch of stories based on what I look up, which is generally football and Star Wars and comic books and shit.
And dude stuff.
Yeah, I guess so. But so a lot of it is like I'll get something about like AC/DC because because I got Iron Maiden tickets or
Spotify,
whatever,
yeah.
or hey, here's X-Men '97 because like I looked at it, whatever.
Yeah. That was a Collective Soul. Yeah.
Yeah, the drums fucking drove me nuts. The reason why I'm saying this is because they have this like clickbaity type shit, and this clickbaity shit is like Sony Spider-Verse box office bomb finding hits, becoming hit on Netflix. And I'm like, no,
God, is it fucking
right?
Madam
and I'm
Web?
like, no, you fucking asshole. And I opened the article, and of course, it's some shithead talking about how so many people are watching it on Netflix compared to its theatrical run. And it's like, yeah, because people
You
are
don't have to
watching
pay
to see how
for it.
bad it is.
You know what they're probably doing? They're probably putting it on in a fucking party, and they're having a drinking game and getting
Yes,
fucking trash. Watching this
it's
movie.
like TikTok, whatever. But it drove me nuts because it's like that's the only fucking thing those
They're
fucking
hate
movies are
watching it.
good for. That's the only.
They're garbage.
I don't give a shit about Craven. I don't give a shit about what movie were we just talking about. We're talking about
Venom?
The Venom. I think Venom, The Last Dance should be fun because you're gonna have. There's a theory that Null might show up.
I think that's where they're
That
going.
would be cool. We've already seen symbiote dragons, which is like fuck yeah, dude. Wasn't that a
Yeah.
symbiote dragon on the
It was a
airplane or something?
Yeah, well, and then they had that. Yeah, they had the best part of the whole fucking trailer was when they turned the horse, and then they bonded him with the horse, and we got Venom horse, and I'm like, fuck yeah, because you know what I'm thinking? This movie's gonna be dumb as shit, but I'm gonna have so much fun. And
Yeah,
you know what?
if you
it
do it
comes
right-
out the weekend of my fucking birthday, so of course I'm.
When is it
gonna
coming
see
out?
this. October 25th.
Have we bought tickets for Deadpool Wolverine yet?
We'll
Nope.
never see that movie.
Wow.
It's trash.
I don't want to see that cash grab.
Well, this, yeah.
Did you see
But
the?
it also is some people have been tweeting about this and pointing this out. It is kind of fucking hilarious that we live in a world where we're going to have 3 Venom movies now,
without Spider-Man.
and there's like we have a Venom getting a trilogy before the Justice League does. Like fucking what world are we living in, man?
The more I read about, and if we want to talk about this a little later, we can. I won't get too far into it. But the more I read about things happening with the James Gunn's DCEU or whatever you want to call it, the more excited I am to start seeing it.
I think Superman's gonna be, it's gonna be a breath of fresh air. I think it's gonna be, as much as some people might hate it, whatever. I think it's gonna harken back to a more classical Superman. I don't think that, and I absolutely believe that James Gunn is gonna modernize the Superman, but it's going. You can still make him compelling, and make him a good person, and not make him a Boy Scout caricature.
Yeah, by the way, that wasn't like a girl-like pose he was doing in that production
God.
shot. That was an example of
Someone putting.
No, that was an example of somebody who clearly has the weight of the world on his shoulders at the end of the day.
And he's putting his boots on.
Actually, I think he was taking them off at the end of the day.
Well, there's a laser in the background. I would hope that wasn't the end of the day. Because then that would mean that Brainiac would win.
Who the fuck?
Whoa. I am excited about that too.
I'm excited to see
but-
Brainiac.
But Venom, to get to this point, especially have this movie, like think of what they learned from this trilogy of we can make Venom more appealing to a mainstream audience if we lean into the silliness of it and these are comedies. Like this whole thing, the whole dynamic is just you want to see Venom and Eddie hanging out. Like you just want to see them
that
going.
first like action
It's
sequence
a boy
in the
and a
trailer.
symbiote. We've said that for all these movies.
And how many? Why the fuck are we doing it the third time? I guess. That first sequence in the trailer where they're whatever.
You didn't like the weird Venom part?
No.
Why?
Because it's like an overdone bit in Buddy. Like by this point, it's the third movie. They should. Why are we still having like this Turner and Hooch type of fucking
That is a good point.
relationship with these guys?
Yeah, but it's been pretty rocky because the last movie they weren't together for a good portion of it. Remember, they broke up for a little bit. So I think they're still repairing their relationship, and then they went to.
Is Michelle Williams in this?
I don't know.
Probably not. Which means
I'm sure
that it's
she
not
is
good.
at some point.
Whatever.
She's been in the other two. Why wouldn't she?
I don't know.
I think this is leading to Clintar. I think we're going straight toward. We're gonna just because I think at this point, if you're not gonna go to the Spider-Man route, because I think there is no chance in hell that Tom Holland shows up or Andrew Garfield or any Spider-Man. I don't think
so
Spider-Man
either,
is
yeah.
in this at all.
No.
I feel like you have to go for if you're truly saying this is it. This is the last movie Tom Hardy's going to do. This is the trilogy. You have to bring in Null. You have to bring in the Donny Cates shit with the Clintar and all that. You have to do that because you've already alluded to it. And then based on this trailer, the other symbiotes are coming down. So, and then, there's so many ways you can go with it. I think if you're going to, this is the only way I could justify this, and I'm going to write a better ending to this fucking movie, and I know it, but I'm going to do it right now.
Okay.
Venom, The Last Dance, kills Eddie.
Okay.
Eddie dies. It's it. This is The Last Dance. We're committing. They contain the fucking Venom, and who gets it? And you can cast whoever you want. Flash fucking Thompson, and this means the next movie is Agent Venom. That's the only way.
Space Knight Venom, dude.
I swear to God, Marvel. There's still time. Sony, there's still time.
The problem is it's not Marvel's problem. It's Sony's problem.
Sony. No, yeah, sorry. Sony.
If Marvel had their way, they would tell.
I'm telling you right now, that is not how this movie's going to end.
No.
Because that's too good of an ending.
The movie is going to end with want to know my take? The movie's going to end in a big old action sequence where Eddie dies, right? But then just when you start thinking maybe he's really dead, can you believe that? And he starts doing his whole shtick, and that's the end of the movie, and they walk off in the sunset. Boring.
You know what else?
Kill Eddie.
Tyler.
Kill Eddie.
Tyler, you know what else?
Don't you think though?
You know what else?
Don't you think?
You could bring back Andrew Garfield, right? You could bring back.
How about
you don't even have to you don't even have to bring back that guy from his movies.
How about
you could just hold on?
Yeah.
Let me go.
Gotcha.
Let me cook.
Yep. Cook.
You could recast again, but you could. That's how you could do Andrew Garfield, and this is how we do Venom because this would be the first time this Venom would see Peter, and so you could do the Peter symbiote story again. Have your cake and eat it too, and then have Flash without his legs be addicted, be like in the books, be like, oh my gosh, because he has his legs when he has the symbiote, and he craves it and needs it because he wants his legs back. But the symbiote's going fuck off with Peter. Good God, I'm writing better movies for them. What am I doing? But that's what they should do, but they won't.
Here's an alternative.
I'm sorry that turned
ending.
into an Agent Venom pitch. I'm sorry.
No, that was awesome. But here's an alternative to that. Is you do truly end the Venom stuff, which will never happen. But
They're never gonna end
if
this.
you could, here's two ways that I would end it. One, Eddie and Venom sacrifice themselves to save everybody.
Yeah.
And credits roll. At the end of the credits, you see a little bit of symbiote, right? Like you did at the end of No Way Home. Or whatever it was, and you have you have it kind of doing whatever in the foreground, and somebody walks up to it, and it bonds with them, and it's Andrew Garfield in his Spider-Man costume. That's a fitting send-off to, like, Andrew Garfield. Here is the alternate to that, which I think would be even better and funnier, is that same thing, but it's Tobey Maguire, and instead of bonding with him, he steps on it and goes, "Not again, fuck that." And that's the end of that.
That would be pretty great.
Right? Even though
all
I've softened
here's-
on Spider-Man 3,
Hey, this is all I'm saying.
you are saying bullshit. Sorry.
This is all I'm saying. Sony, I have just
Stop it.
I have just created a way. I have just created a way for you to keep Venom going, and have Spider-Man. All I'm saying. I gave you an opportunity to have your cake and eat it too. That being said, this movie, Last Dance, I'm excited because it looks dumb, it looks silly, and it's going to be what I loved about those first two movies. They're leaning into the comedy. I agree that first joke is kind of like, but later, like when they're fighting and you see the big crawling fucking symbiote, Jesus Christ, like that's funny. Like that when you let Venom have like when he goes, holy shit, a red one. Like when he has like legitimate reactions to it, it's funny. But like it can be kind of hokey sometimes. I get it. Or like the one when when he says when he's got the head out. Yeah, you know what? I like these fucking movies. I don't
Fuck
give a
you.
shit. Venom, Last Dance. I'm excited. I'll be there. It's my birthday
Sure.
weekend. I'm gonna watch it on my birthday, probably.
Sounds good.
And then you know what? Call me right now, Sony. No,
Dude, we just gave you like 17
DM
great
me.
ideas.
I just gave you an Agent Venom pitch / this is how you introduce Venom to Andrew Garfield or even Tom Holland. It would still work for Tom Holland.
I told you 6 months ago how to make the perfect Craven movie that anybody would give a fuck about, and you completely ignored me.
And you know what, man?
Swing web.
Without Spider-Man, apparently.
You know what I say?
You are nothing but garbage, yeah. Nothing but garbage, Gaina.
All right, let's do this.
Tyler, you got me some books. So we are continuing our coverage of Punisher number 11.
We're almost done.
The Jason Aries, Jesus
Jason Aaron.
Sorry, did I say Ares?
You said Jason Aries, but that's
Well, because I saw Zai's name.
also Aries has been the villain throughout the whole thing, so it's not.
So Jason Aaron, Jesus Saiz, and Paul
Azakita. Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
Good God, I hope that's how you pronounce his name.
Where to go to? Hey, you know what? Can we just say, what is Hollings? Hang on.
I think Hollings colors.
Hollingsworth has been on the cover of every single one. He is the
he's the
color
colors.
artist. So can we give let's also make sure we mention him because
We do. You know what? That's true.
I think we have, but since he's one of the 4 names on the cover, sure.
We don't get. I don't think you're right. I think we should give some colors, some more.
And the book
Give
that
them
I
a
bought
little
today, one of the great things that makes Mike Allred a great artist is that his colorist is always his wife, Laura.
Mm-hmm.
And that's always, if you see it's M Allred and L Allred. So.
Punisher number 11 picks up where it starts again with a flashback, because by the end of Punisher 10, the rest of the Marvel Universe is like, okay, now we got to deal with Frank Castle because he's defeated Ares. He's killed all these he's killed all these people, these like pedophiles and evil crime
drug
bosses
lords
and drug lords,
sex traffickers and
the worst people.
Yeah.
And so they show up, and that's where we kind of would start the present. But we start in the past with Maria once again. She's at like a gun range, and there's a guy that kind of hits on her a little bit. And I love this too, because it's funny that they kind of like, that Aaron kind of gives Maria her own like agency of being kind of badass, where she's like, Frank's taught me how to shoot. I know how to shoot. Because he's like, oh, your stance is off. And she's like, I know how to shoot. And to like signal that she's not interested, she puts 3 rounds, and it was like one of them was center of mass, and one of them was like starting from the crotch up. And I was just like, that's funny. But it was like, she's like, I didn't want to cheat. I wasn't going to cheat, but it was nice to feel wanted. And it goes back to the, hey, let's go to the park. Because she's like, let's all go as a family. He's like, sure, let's go. And then we flash to the present, and that's when Doctor Strange has got he's got Frank tied up, and there's like red like goo.
He's trying to get the beast out of him.
Yes, he's trying to
basically.
take the powers out of him.
The red
yeah, the
crap.
goo almost
The
kind of looks
poop
like
in his blood.
foam.
Yeah.
You know?
It's poop. It's blood poop.
Yeah.
Poop blood.
But they're like, hey, yeah, I'm trying to
Man, that's funny.
get out of this. And then they ask like Strange what he's doing, and then Strange explains it, and he's like, it's part brain
yeah.
surgery, part bomb disposal. If a bomb could obliterate the human soul, by all means, continue
Yeah.
asking me questions. Doctor Strange is fucking badass in these
Yeah,
books.
he is.
But oh my god, so Frank is breaking free from it, and he's resisting, and he's fighting him off, and Wolverine comes through, and he's like, "You ninja loving bastard!" Stabs Frank, catches the blades of Wolverine in his hand,
Through his hand.
turns his fist forwards, and punches Wolverine's own claws into his face, and it's like, fuck yeah. Like, you know why it works? Because it's a Punisher book. And if anybody has any complaints about that fight, be like, bro, it is the Punisher series. It's always like this. You know what I mean? My favorite...
That's so fucking cool.
like, right back into his own face. But this is my favorite part of the whole fight, though, is when Doctor America shows up.
Dr. America.
It's Captain Strange and Dr. America.
Hey, it's Lily.
So he's like, Captain Castle, stand down, Marine. That's an order.
Yeah.
And it's like this beautiful, like, I fucking love the callback to the third issue of it's a panel, close up on Cap, and he's saying this war of yours is finished, and then you cut down to like a mid-page splash,
Yeah.
and it's Frank right before he lights the guy on fire. But it's just white and him wearing the Captain America mask, and it's almost like a mirror.
Yeah.
And it's like, I fucking love that, because for Frank Castle always has idolized Captain America, and Captain America fucking hates him because he's a psychopath.
He doesn't hate him. He
doesn't.
He actually has a grudging respect for Frank
Would he, though?
because
I know-
he's
well,
always had it.
In this book, he says, like, I don't want to kill this guy. You know, I don't want to kill this soldier. I think he's just lost his way. Yeah.
Anyway,
But
no, but
He also doesn't like that he kills people, obviously.
right, I know that, but he's got that kinship of being in the service.
Yes, he's
okay?
a soldier.
So,
Yeah, yes.
So, but here's the ironic thing: is that this book, this series, is not necessarily meant to break the hold, to break the point of what white supremacists and shit use the Punisher logo for and stuff. But it is to kind of say you're dumb, and. The irony is when Captain America got killed back in the aughts or the late 90s, there was a whole Punisher series where he took on a Captain America themed armor. And it's this whole series where he goes and hunts down these fucking white supremacists in Texas.
Oh my god.
With this Captain America fucking themed armor, and he gets his ass kicked actually. But the irony is that this is during the time that all of these white supremacists start showing up with Punisher logos on their trucks.
Yeah.
And it's like, how did they miss the fucking point of that particular fucking series?
Well, the fact that the whole character is yeah, whatever.
But there's one last thing. There's a part in that series where the Punisher goes to Washington, and at that point, Bucky has taken on the mantle of Captain America, and he's got the armor. And the pistol. Do you remember that at all? Mm-hmm. Okay, never mind. I don't know if you do, but he shows up and they fight each other because he's like, "You have no right to wear Captain America's colors. You're a murderer," and da da da. And he's like, "How about you, motherfucker?" I mean, sorry, you're the fucking Winter Soldier, dude. It's pretty good battle. Pretty good fight. Pretty good beer.
So anyway, so then we go back to another flashback in this fight because Frank gets away, or he gets. We see that moment with him and Cap, and then it's a flashback, and we talk about Maria, who is just like, because in the last issue she was talking about how he went to executions at night. He didn't have a second job; he was just going to executions, and so it's like there had been an execution in months, but he was still slipping out at night. So she got a private detective, and he was like. He went to Frank's home, and it kind of goes back into the backstory of the person being beat to death. And then the final panel of this page, you see a gun pointed at this PI's head, and he's just like, tell her I'm having an affair and don't ever follow me again.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
Well, she's talking about how she hired a PI. And
I've said that.
Oh.
Yeah, well, I said that the whole thing was because she said there wasn't an execution in months, and like, why was he slipping away? But
sorry, I completely missed that. You were talking about yeah.
But so then it cuts back because it talks about this essentially is setting up them going to the park. This is the fatal time that they went to the park. And we also start to see more of Maria's side of the story of seeing like, okay, we're seeing more and more that Maria maybe wasn't in love with Frank anymore either. And this is also because isn't it the last issue she finds out, or it's this issue she finds out about what he's done all this time that she's been dead? Because I'm pretty sure it's this issue.
Yeah.
But then we come back to the present, and Frank is trying to fly. He's just saying, I'm done, and he's trying to go back home to Maria because he sees her saying, come home.
I was just reading what Doctor Strange says to him.
But again, Doctor
and
Strange
it's fucking classic,
has
dude.
these so he's flying away, but then you see these green briefcases, and it says front
No,
toward...
it's they're Claymore mines.
Oh, yeah, Claymore Mines,
Yeah.
front toward Frank. And
Yeah.
it was funny. Just, yeah, and then it's, yeah, you should have come to me, Frank. Yeah, in the past few weeks, I've saved a dozen mothers from being torn apart while giving birth to babies with horns.
Not that part, the second part. Read it.
Yeah. As we
Sloughed.
speak, there's a 1,000-year-old monastery in Poland where the flesh is sloughing off the faces of the benevolent monks like their skulls are being boiled beneath their skin. Jeez, from Jews.
Well, he's talking
then he
about the
summons
price. He's talking about the price of
the price of magic,
the magic
which has
that
been
he's using.
Aaron-
Yeah,
that was always Jason Aaron's.
But it's just a
kinda-
crazy fucking like wow. We haven't. I don't know about you, but up to this point in the series, the first time I read it through, I'm not thinking about what the fuck
how
else
much
is going
damage
on.
he's creating.
I'm honestly up to this point. I know I still am kind of on Frank's side because he's trying to avenge his family and he is killing bad guys. Like he's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's killing guys that honestly
deserve
but,
it. Yeah.
But as somebody who's in recovery from alcoholism, knowing that trauma creates a lot of that stuff and everything
Yeah.
and whatnot, I also know that killing people is not the answer. It never has been. You know,
Yeah.
there has to be some sort of a I don't know, man. But up to this point, I'm on his side. At this point, it's when you start realizing,
Yeah.
holy fuck, he's destroying not just what he wants to destroy. He's destroying all these other things, just like he destroyed his marriage.
So yeah, when the power of the beast is unleashed upon the physical realm for one man's selfish ends, but you didn't ask me anything, Frank. So now you get to settle that tab all by yourself. And even in this moment, to remind you that this was always a selfish endeavor and this was always about Frank, he says, I have no idea what you're talking about. I just know my family has suffered enough or has paid enough.
Yeah.
And it's like, again, what
I just like seeing Doctor Strange swing a fucking axe at somebody, dude. It's
so
kind
there's
of
a
cool.
couple of things about this book that I think about and how people reacted to it. And
Moon Knight's cool in this book.
how I could see there's a couple of criticisms that I just don't agree with and about this series. And I think some of it is like the idea that they like told Punisher fans F you and like destroyed the character and ruined the character. I don't think that's true at all.
If you're a Punisher fan and you feel like this series destroyed or ruined the character, then you're exactly the fucking Punisher fan that Jason Aaron was writing it for. To say, hey, fucking you're a bigot and a fucking asshole. And this guy was never supposed to be looked up to.
He was never a hero.
He was never supposed to be lionized, you stupid, stupid white people. And it's all white people. Sorry. Sorry. No, I'm just saying, somebody will listen to this and be like, well, don't even fucking tell me that anybody...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, the fight continues, and then it is a point where Frank keeps fighting, and he just has a flashback of Maria saying, don't come home again until you're done, pretty much. So he
He's basically just trying to get away from these guys.
This is awesome. So I know where I belong, Captain, and I'm sorry. And then he takes like the flames of the beast and makes a sword, and just slams it against Captain America's shield, and it's like a half-page splash. It's really cool. And then we cut to Maria going.
Did we show Moon Knight?
Yeah, he fought Moon Knight at some point. But what do you want to talk about Moon Knight for, man? He's here. By the way, what a weird.
He just says like, hey, from one fist to another, just relax and let us kill your god for you.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of cool. Moon Knight's kind of a badass. Anyway.
Yeah, I like the jokes
because he's a fist of Khonshu.
Fist of Khonshu.
Fishing with Khonshu.
So then we see that the priestess is being like, Maria's coming through to be like into the library. This is where she's going to start to find out about the truth. We also see the priestess like keel over in pain because Frank is resisting the beast.
Yeah. And
he's still fighting with the sword. And then we get the flashback to the park where this is where the day that she is killed, she is telling Frank she wants a divorce.
Yeah.
Which I texted you because I read 11 and 12 back to back, and because I had to finish it. And I texted you after reading this issue with a mind blown emoji because I was just like, the fact that he snuck this in and put this in the second to last issue and play out this Frank and Maria story and really crystallize it in that moment of this is, and he says it in the last issue. This story is about Jason Aaron himself in the epilogue says this. This is a story about a desolation of a family that falls apart because of Frank's selfishness. Frank was only a husband when it was convenient for him. He could never fully commit.
He was a husband and a father because that's what he was supposed to do.
He got a girl pregnant, had to marry her, and that's it.
And to be really brutally honest, like there's a lot of stuff about the construct of marriage in this, and there are a lot of people in the world who are married and stay in marriages because that's what you do. That's the way they were raised. That's what their parents, what have you. And this is showing that Maria was strong enough to say, hey, I don't want this for my life. And you know what? This is not good for me. So I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
And this is Frank telling us that he's always been a selfish piece of shit.
So,
and the minute that he became the Punisher or whatever the fuck you want to say it, the minute he did that, he completely blacked it out of his mind that she wanted a divorce or that there was anything wrong in their marriage. In his mind, moving forward as the Punisher, they had the perfect life together.
He won a Death Wish. He had his own Death Wish movie.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
There was no thought in his mind, or he had blotted out that she was saying that she wanted that there was problems.
Again, think about this.
Because
I want to bring this back. I think on one hand, some people that really love the classic Punisher, I understand that. You maybe be upset by this because it is really deconstructing Frank. But I want to also point this out. Isn't it better that Jason Aaron took this and gave it some nuance and some mythology and it changes Frank and makes him more compelling because this isn't just because Frank Castle's character is an archetype. He is fucking Death Wish. That's it. Frank Castle is Charles Bronson. His family was gunned down, so his revenge. You know what I mean? It's just a revenge fantasy. That's
right.
it. There's nothing more to that character. But what does he do after that? He keeps killing people. Keeps killing drug lords. But it stops. First of all, he shouldn't have killed those people in the first place. Okay. But then you're also adding on the fact that he keeps doing it. And this is what this story is trying to tell you. It's trying to say he keeps doing it. He's a mass murderer. He's not a good person.
What's even worse about all of this is that it is a message of how many men in our society push shit down. Frank Castle could have been helped with therapy when he was a kid at any time. But we raise our boys to feel like showing weakness is wrong. We raise our boys, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
he was the prototypical,
Yeah.
like, bad husband. You know? Like, he thinks he's a good husband because he provides and whatever the fuck, right?
Yeah.
But he's a bad husband because he doesn't, you know what I mean?
Again, he's only there when it's
as long as
convenient.
he brings home a paycheck, he doesn't give a shit. He doesn't want to grow with his wife.
Sometimes
he doesn't
he wants
wanna
to be a
hang
dad.
out. Right. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
And it is also a deconstruction of our shitty society that has shown guys and men that it is wrong to ask for help, or that it is wrong to say, hey, sweetie, I know that you think something's wrong, but when I was fucking 8, I saw this mobster beat 2 people to death.
And then I killed him by setting him on fire.
Right? Because that's not what you tell your wife. You called that in. You're the man. You gotta,
Yeah.
you know, right?
Yeah. Oh,
I
and
mean-
by the way, I went to war and killed a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And I miss it. When my husband, so this is a beautiful shot. It's a single page splash after Maria sees her death, sees the origins of the Punisher, and then we see like we saw in the first issue, where it's the double page splash of all these different stories, Punisher stories. Same thing. All these different screens have like different panels from different Punisher comics, and she's like freaking out, and it's the captions. When my husband stopped coming to the shooting range, when Frank Castle no longer wanted to shoot, I knew the end was near. I knew my husband was deeply depressed, that he was lost and empty, and that nothing would ever change because he wasn't being the man he was meant to be. And then it, cuts to him running away from the team.
He's at this point, he's just trying to get back to the temple.
He's trying to get back to Maria.
He knows he's outmatched.
And then there was the part of me that for one moment while watching him rage had wanted him to become that person. Isn't the right word. That machine to retribution and blood-drenched judgment. And it's just like her continuing to put this thing of like, he still never loved me.
Yeah.
He just loved to kill. So we see finally the last moments of Maria saying, I want a divorce, but as she's saying, I want a divorce, and then the guns go off, and they kill his family. He finally gets back to the temple, but and then we finally see Maria standing there waiting for Frank, as you said in the last, before the final couple scenes is kind of incredible. So, but once I died that day in the park and found myself standing in the great beyond, and she's like. And all I saw before me was the beast, and it's a full-page splash of her shooting Frank, and saying pretty much like you did all the things that you did in the name of
In the names of our
children.
Well, she's also seen all the fucking graves, so she knows that he's fucking had to kill their kids over and over again. You remember how he had to kill the
But she says, I
abominations?
saw it all. All hail the king of killers, and she shoots him again.
Yep.
And then the final shot of this issue is them reached out like the Sistine Chapel with her full of bullet holes,
The first
and him trying to.
Yes, the
Yeah.
first
At the-
fucking
at the
issue of the series starts with that with those 3 word bubbles,
Yeah.
but it's single.
They constantly
it's-
call back to
they're
that
hot
scene, but
horizontal
they're-
panels
it's
with
always,
the fingers. Yeah,
it's always a different
and
perspective.
Frank's like screaming in the background. Whatever.
It's the same dialogue each time, but a different perspective. I love that. I love that detail. So we got another book this week.
Oh, this is crap.
So this is Chew, Volume 2, International Flavor, by John Lehman and Rob Gilroy.
I'm gonna tell you my favorite part of this, and then you can just go to 10, and I'll add as it
Well, I gotta tell you,
this whole.
oh my god, yeah, we'll get to
But, oh yeah,
it. Oh my gosh,
There's
that was
fucking.
that was one of the funniest like cliffhangers because at the time I was reading it monthly, but so volume 2 it picks up issues 6 through 10 are in this volume, and I remember texting you about it because I wanted to know when we were going to bring it back. So I was
Never.
like, I was asking
Sick
you
of it.
if you finished it, and you're like, yeah, it's insane, and I'm like, Oh yeah, the Yamapulu stuff is pretty wild. That's what I said because I am also rereading this with you, and I'm a little bit ahead. So I'm on to I'm a volume ahead of you at this point because we're gonna do volume 3 next week.
We're gonna do volume 3.
So I've been reading it as well, and I just keep being reminded how much I love this series. But we left volume 1 with Savoy and Tony Chu in different places. So Tony Chu found out that Savoy killed the health inspector Evan Peters, and they fight, and Savoy bites off a piece of his ear, and that volume ends saying we will meet again, one of us will die and the other will dine on the other's flesh, which is such a weird thing, but this is one thing I love about this series.
Yeah.
And you and I are talking about it. You really can't stick it into a genre and put it in one thing, because it's part a buddy cop comedy, it's part
so there is an ending to this?
There's I have every volume, so it ends with 60 issues, and there's a definitive ending. There is a sequel series.
Here's my
but
only.
there's only like 20.
Here's
issues
my
in it.
only issue with the issue. There's a couple things that the art is good, but it's very stylized.
It's like an Adult Swim show, is what I think it is.
Keith Giffen is one of the greatest writers, plotters for DC ever. But his art style is really, really hard to get used to. And this one to me is as well. I'm still not... I still don't really... There's still... I just have not fallen in love with it yet. My favorite thing about this book, I'm going to tell you a lot of things I like about it. At one point in the first issue, it's revealed that he maybe has to eat shit, and they show a steaming pile of shit in the foreground, and he's like, no. But on the cover of this collected work, and I think maybe it was a cover of one of the issues, the island is stylized.
It looks like a pile of shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And in the middle is the what is it? The governor.
Yeah, the governor of Yamapulu.
In the middle
Or
of the
Yamapalu.
stinky whatever is the governor, and so it's kind of like, okay, that's I do appreciate that the guy knows how. It's just for some reason.
Well, it is. It is very stylized.
Yes,
it is something to get used to.
That is honestly what has prevented me from really getting into the book.
I promise you, though, you stick it out. The series is
I've heard
great.
that before. I'm just saying, no, but
so this is also the introduction of it in issue. Again, I was reading this monthly when this come out, so I was like, oh shit. They brought back John Colby because John Colby was his partner in the original book. He gets a fucking meat cleaver to the side of his face in the first issue, but he comes back with a cyborg face because he was a part of the the FDA's cybernetic program, which is fucking ridiculous.
Did you ever see the South Park where they showed how Family Guy came up with its plots and whatnot with the manatees? Do you remember that? It was the Cartoon Wars.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. This is one thing I do like about this series, but it's also very hard to get used to and get into for me, at least, because whether I like it or not, I am kind of a sucker for mostly formulaic stuff, comic book, superhero, whatever. I am very mainstream. So when it comes to whatever, and I want to get better about, but when it comes to this, you start off with this thing, and then they're like, okay, how do we make this more batshit insane than even the most batshit insane somebody could come up with? Like last issue or last book, they definitively say that there's no such thing as vampires. They do. They say it, and then they come up with it again this fucking book. And they show how this fucked up serial killer dude decides to make himself look like a Dracula, and then he also has to bite his like victims and shit.
So this whole
It's just
this
fucking outrageous,
dude,
crazy.
I promise you, this all will make sense if you
And don't
read
even
it.
get me started about the guy who doesn't talk,
Layman-
except for through his food.
Layman is fucking playing the long game, buddy. You just got to stick with me.
I don't like long games.
So issue 6 ends with Tony taking a sip of some soup where they're doing a raid. D-Bear makes a return. We find out he's an FDA informant. He'll also play a factor in the next volume. So Tony takes this bite of the soup because they're trying to see if it's chicken, and he goes, I don't think it's chicken because it smells like chicken soup. They think it's chicken soup, but it's a fruit. And this whole trade, this whole arc is explaining the weird-looking fruit that was at the end, that was in the previous issues, where it was like this random fruit in the background. And we're finding where Amelia is going. Like, why is she after this fruit thing? So then we also see the issue, chapter 2 of this, which would be issue number 7, is just the big boobs and the rat and stuff like. But it's also the USDA, and that's what I love about this series. Rather than be the CIA, the FBI, all that traditional shit, it's the FDA and the USDA and like NASA and like all this other stuff. There's all these other things to it, and again, I understand it's a lot, but when you know, like for me, I know where the story's going. So the more I reread this, the more it makes sense to me. So they also find out about Colby. Also, I love this scene. The next issue starts with a cold open where Colby is trying to buy some eggs off the street. So it's like a drug dealer, but he's got a bunch of eggs in his jacket, which is funny. And he tries to scare him off with his badge, and then they all crack, and then he finds one that is a hard-boiled egg. And he takes a bite, and he's like, there's something going on in the Arctic, and that was tied back to the previous issue, or they thought there was something in the Arctic. Something did show up. They find the Russian girls from the last volume. When I do explain it, I do understand where you're coming from because it is kind of batshit insane. So then we find out that Tony is following a lead to Yamapalu, which is where the fruit is grown. This is also where he runs into USDA agent who has a like cyborg rat.
This is where you lose me.
Lindsay Wu.
This is where you lose me. Let's put her on the cover. Let's give her a whole backstory and then fucking kill her.
That's awesome.
That's stupid. I'm sorry.
How else you got to build up? You got to build up the.
You wasted an issue of my time.
But you got to build up. Oh my gosh, dude! It all makes sense. You have to build up the vampire dude first. So yeah, it shows that she's this USDA agent. She's also following some leads in Yamapalu.
And why the fuck is his brother there? I mean, I get it,
because his brother is going to be the chef. His brother gets a job in Yamapalu.
I know.
To make really good food with this fruit that tastes like chicken. It's a Gladys berry, I think is what it's called. Also, Caesar shows up, who, if you remember, Caesar...
Gallisberry, yeah.
Caesar is with Savoy. Or wait.
No, he's with... See, you don't even fucking know.
No, he's with Montero at this point. I think I may have spoiled something later on, but all right. So Tony's going in the elevator, and then Lindsay Wu shows up in a sexy dress and says, "Hold the elevator," and puts her leg up and has her heel into the elevator. I just love it because it's such a like silly here's what I love about this angle, because she has her foot on his throat up against the side of the elevator. It's just, I love it because it's obviously like making fun of like that hokey like secret agent thing. Like she just has to do it because she's a secret agent. The best joke in the trade, in my opinion, is the elevator shot where it's 4 panels, and the first 2 panels are just the elevator doors. It says ding, and then it just says her, "Take the stairs!" And then the door shuts, and they just leave. I guess this is the best joke of the whole book. So they fight, and they decide, hey, we're on the same team. We're trying to figure this shit out with this Gladys Berry stuff and this governor. Let's meet up later. Okay, let's meet up. They agree to that. And then Tony feels like he gets stiffed by her because she doesn't show up. And then we find out in a flashback that she was killed by the vampire. And he takes a bite of her rat because the vampire is a Sibopath. Give up, man. If you don't want to read it, we don't need to read it. No. It's fine. You hate the book.
It's look. Every issue is like, here's 17 new characters. Is all. I like the overall arc. I like that. Here's why I'm not giving up. Is because I don't read books like this, and books like this I think need to exist. I do. And it's not. I don't hate it. It's just thick as fuck. Do you remember Dune?
It's very layered.
Do you remember Dune?
Yeah.
I would expect if you and I decided to review that book and I started reading it along the same time as you, I would get through it a lot faster. I've read it before. I could skip around a little bit.
Yeah.
But you having to read like even having seen the movie, because I saw the David Lynch, which explains most. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, like, I do want to make sure that I give this its due at the very least. I do think we should read the whole thing.
It's 60 issues.
When we're done, you're going to fucking watch season 1 of The Wire. I swear to God.
I'll shake with you now.
You got it right there.
There it is.
No, and again,
so
I'm not. I don't want to denigrate the book.
I'll get through the rest of this.
Yeah.
I'll break down the rest of this. So,
but I like the idea that there is no such thing as vampires. You know, but like, here's why you would think that though.
Yeah. Well, and I this is what I found out about myself is we talk about you're the Marvel guy,
super great guy.
You're the Marvel guy. I'm the DC guy, or whatever. But honestly, I feel like I'm more the indie guy because most of my books are indie books, or things like Chew, or things like God Country, or Sex Criminals.
The most indie I get is like Image, which is not that indie anymore.
Image is indie because it's still creator owned.
Right.
No, and those are Image books. But like, I'm just saying that, like, I tend to buy books like this and books like that because they're so fucking unique, and I think that this series, it you know. You and I were kind of talking about this too off the air. It was like sometimes there's just a book that just clicks with you, and there's just something like it just pulls you in. And this series hooked me a long time ago.
You're a braver soul than I. Like when we go to Jay's or when we go to Mayhem and they have the clearance
because
section.
I like that it pushed. Yeah.
When we go to the clearance section, you know, you and I go there and I look honestly for all the Marvel shit, because that's what I know, and I know it's going to be cheap, and I know I'll be able to at least get into it, right? I don't want to try something even though it's cheap because I don't know it, you know?
Yeah.
I'm very comfortable with the characters that I know and love, whatever. You go in and you're like, I'm going to try this because it's like $4. You know what I mean? And whether you like it or not, I only spent $4. It's a different mindset when we go in there. Just a little bit.
I've just always been.
I'm scared to try new shit.
I'm always very adventurous, especially with comics, because
you think you're better than me?
And we'll talk about it because we're gonna take a little break. So we're gonna get to finish volume 3, which will get us to issue 15, which will get us a quarter of the way through it. We'll take a little break, and then we're gonna do God Country, which I recently bought and read because I've been trying to read that for years. I do go out of my way to buy those books and buy books like this because I feel like, for me, it really pushes the medium in interesting ways, in different ways. I also felt that way when I was reading, because I read a lot of The Walking Dead at the time when it was coming out. And I think a lot of those, there's a lot of Image books that really push. There's another miniseries.
Dark Horse did that for me back in the day.
Yeah, there's another
That's where they started Madman.
There's another miniseries I need to find that's called Witch Doctor. It's like a miniseries. It was an Image miniseries. I need to find it. I really like that, and that's another book that was so weird and out there. And I like books like this. So to wrap up what we were talking about, most of the third issue of the trade is Tony is following a lead after he was in jail. He punched these guys in the jail a few times so he can get his blood to lick off his hand. Again, I love that this dude made a whole comic book series that is a superhero book, but his superhero or his superpowers are eating food. So he shows up on the lead and finds out there's a chicken here, but it's not just any chicken. This is the first time we see Pollo. And Pollo is this fighting chicken. And he's amazing. And you're going to find out more in the next trade why he's so great. He's great in this, too. So they go, and then the guys that have Pollo have a fight with the local sheriff and Tony Chu. They fight, and then Pollo. I think Pollo gets out, right? No.
Well, no, he says go ahead and kill him.
Oh,
'cause
my
he's in
earpiece.
the UFDA,
The earpiece.
which is it's a
Tony's
callback
fake ear
to the very first, like one of the first pages of the book. Which is where
it's a
he's
different color.
complaining because he's like, "Hey, man, I'm Asian. I'm not, white dude."
So it's a different shade of
So it's called back to that, and then we find out that the local sheriff was scamming Chew the whole time.
Yeah, because he was just trying. He knew that he would lead him to Pollo, so he could take Pollo and run off and have Pollo more cockfights. Because he's got a fucking he's this rooster with a luchador mask, and I'm telling you, when you keep up with this series, you're gonna fall in love with Pollo.
As another
Pollo's the
writer
best.
and creator, I do have to give big props. Pollo in Spanish, Pollo, is chicken. And he has made this character's name Pollo, Poyo, which is the name of the chicken. So as a creator, I big hats off because that's the kind of clever shit that I love.
So the issue ends with Tony taking a bite of the Gladys berry,
Gallisberry?
and then he sees the outer space. So we find out that this is not of our world.
Yeah, I was kind of confused about that. There's some things that confuse me in this book.
yeah,
Come
I know.
on, man.
It'll all make
what
sense.
the fuck?
It makes sense eventually.
Didn't we see that splash page in the last book? And when was that?
That was the first time. That was the first time he did it. It was the first issue.
First time he ate anything?
First time we saw it as a reader, yeah. So then we cut to Amelia in the next issue. She is typing away, and that's when we see the senator. And he talks about how he wants her to keep eating this and eating different dishes created by Tony's brother so she could write about it and get people to come there. And it's all about tourism because of this thing. So then it was like Colby kept covering for Tony when he's like, I'm in Yamapulu. And so all these disgusting cases come in.
Yeah.
And Appleby keeps trying to assign him to it. It's great. And then we get an autopsy for the Russian girl that was in the previous issue that was killed by the vampire, that fought the vampire. And then John is like, hey, man, I'm telling you, you got to come back here. Fucking Applebee's going crazy. And then... then they find out, they have 2 bite marks on their neck. Is it the vampire? It's the vampire. So then Tony's in the morgue of all the dead bodies left by the vampire, so he keeps chomping away on these dead bodies to go after the vampire. And then he also finds out Amelia's on the island as well, so then he talks to the receptionist at the sheriff's office. She gets him some clothes, gets him into the base, and he goes like all his gear and begins an assault. And then we find out about the great Fantazaros. He's a Sibyl, whatever. You get a sensation that he makes art with his food or some shit. So it's described as mute since birth. Fantaros communicates solely through his cooking, and Fantaros is a great communicator. A scholar in classes, he was translated the complete works of Shakespeare into cuisine. So every time you eat it, you're like, oh, man, it's ham.
Well, that's why she freaks out, because he made it so that she would freak out.
Right. And scare her away.
Yes. He's
trying to get everybody. He wants to get off the island,
right,
too.
because you learn...
that the governor is...
Pick up the pace a little bit.
Jesus. The governor is holding him and a bunch of others.
I'm actually just trying to prove to you that I read it.
Including Tony's brother. He's keeping all of these great chefs hostage to cook these Gladysberry menus for Amelia. And Tony begins his assault. He gets Amelia out, but then we also find out there's a whole bunch of other shit going on. There's fire at the camp and explosions, and then there's a sniper rifle. But my favorite is sniper rifle. I got Agent Chu in my sights. Take the shot. Shites. In my sights. Take the shot. And then the caption is cliffhanger. But
playoffs.
The end of this issue is John Kobe in bed with Captain Appleby, fucking Appleby, because that's his only way he can get him off of Tony's back. Oh, the last issue of this trade I love because it's Montero who has the fake chicken. He talks about his new product, which is the Tony called it a frickin'. What did he call it? A chode? Not a chode. A chog. He calls him chog, where he talks about how he genetically spliced chickens and frogs, so it's an ethical way to eat this meat that isn't chicken, it's frog, but it tastes like chicken because I crossbred it. And Caesar's like, no, don't do that. And then we also find out that he's trying to tell Montero, like, hey, by the way, that dude in Yamapalu, there's some shit going down, and I should look into it. So he does. So the guys that got Pollo taken from him, they're coming to fight him. And they're like, for Pollo, for Pollo. They're all fighting again. I'm like, I love it. I love that they're doing this for a fucking rooster. So they're having an assault, but at the same time that's happening, the vampire's there, and he's eating people as they're dying. Because he's killing them and eating them. And then Tony's still there. He's got to go back to the fight. But then we see Caesar, and he's got his sights set on Tony. Is he going to shoot him? No, he misses. On purpose. We'll get to that in the next volume. And then Tony's like, get down. And they have a moment of awkwardness because he still has the hot
Because he wants to do her.
And he's like, she's like, what are you going to do? He's like, I got to go back. I got to get my brother. Or what happened to your brother? Oh, by the way, this one too. What happened to your brother? I broke his jaw. So he'd shut the fuck up.
Yeah. His brother's kind of a douche.
I love it. And the governor's like, you got to get me out of here. And the security are like, no, fuck that. We're getting out of here. This place is burning down. And then, oh my God, I forgot about this shot. And I cackled when I was reading this again. So the vampire's there with the chef, and he's taking the chef. And the governor or the senator or whatever, he's like, hey, no, you can't do that. And he's like, oh, I'm going to fucking take him. And then Tony breaks in and says, sheath the fangs, motherfucker. And he has a gun, but then he also has another gun with holy water in it. And the vampire's like, holy water? And he's like, hey, man, he said there's no such thing as vampires, but just in case. So they have a confrontation. And essentially the vampire just walks out with the chef, says this is over. Tony doesn't do anything. Doesn't he? Oh, yeah, he gets his gun stolen, I think, right? Yeah, he gets hit by the governor, loses his gun, he takes his gun, he puts it on him, and he's like, what the fuck are you doing? And then the vampire leaves, and the governor kills himself. And then Tony sees everything about the Gladysberry and all the things about Yamapalu. And then we cut to the vampire who eats the chef. Because there's no such thing as vampires, Tyler. And then eventually Tony ends up at his table. Back at his desk. He's back. Amelia's back. And the Gladysberry is growing in her personal garden. And that is Chew Volume 2, International Flavor. What'd you think, Tyler?
It was dense.
I'll eat your ass.
That's how I feel about it. Guess what? It's only gonna get denser because the
Why?
cliffhanger.
Why? What is the fucking point? Why?
But Tyler, it pays off so well. It pays off. I trust you. I trust me. I trust
I trust me. You
I don't
should
know.
Trust me too.
Every morning I wake up and I trust myself. You should trust me.
Every morning I wake up and I trust myself not to piss all over the floor of the bathroom. Let me see if I can get all this into the toilet today. Because you know what? I've been working real hard, Lord, on being a compassionate person. And that means not pissing wherever the fuck I feel like. That means pissing in the toilet.
Nice.
Not all over the seat.
Nice.
Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.